Hi guys. So I kind of blew it on that first one about plating your scenic project. So I am back to give it a second try. And I'll delete that first video if this one turns out better. So the first thing we need to do is create your ground plan and your section view. Each of those will be on their own layer. And if you took a look at the video about setting up layers, then you can go ahead and set up a ground plan layer, there she is, and a section layer. Both of them are Arch D. While we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate that one more time. This will be my elevations layer. So I'll go ahead and change that because I'm in 2020. I can just do it right in line there. Okay, so I have a ground plan layer, I have a section layer, and then I have an elevations layer. There are, if we go back to our ground plan, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. If we go back to our scenery layer in our model view. So in our top view, there are two objects that will go into our ground plan view and also have specific scenic elevations, right? So these are two things that the shops, if we had them, would need to build. One of them is this floor, and the other one is the back wall. Everything else on this set is basically shopped props, so they don't need specific elevations unless it is a specific piece of furniture that's built or something like that, or if there's a platform or whatever. That's not what's going on in my case, so I'm just going to create a ground plan and a section from that ground plan and plate those onto my first two layers. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so there's my section view. Great. Also in 1/2 inch scale. Beautiful. So now I'm going to draft my wall and my floor. And the way that I'm going to do that is the first thing I'm going to do is create a drafting plate. Okay, right now it exists already. What? That's because this is my do-over. Great. I'm going to just pretend I hadn't done it yet. All right. So first I create a drafting layer. That allows me to turn off everything else. I'm going to go back into my scenery layer. I'm going to create a symbol out of the upstage wall. And in this case, I'm also going to include the paintings that are hanging on said upstage wall inside of that symbol. So this is a symbol that includes everything attached to the upstage wall, and it's all inside of a symbol. I think I called it like wall unit, something clever. Like wall unit, and then I turn off everything else. So my next move is to draft that symbol, like straight up draft that symbol. So I'm going to go grab wall unit that I just created out of that upstage wall, and I'm going to place it somewhere near the 0, 0, just to make it in a convenient place. So the reason I do this is that I want to create versions of each object that are square to the cutting planes, right? So if I have a scenic unit that is not in its position flat so that the front is to the front, then it's harder to plate it because I can't just say, hey, go to front view. Great, there's the front view. Now I can just plate from this front view, right? So that's why I place it as a symbol into this new layer that I've created. So if it's something that's on an angle, not square to the page, this will really help you. You'll be able to sort of expand it out. The other pro tip on all of that is if you are plating more than one object, right? If it's this, and then I'm also going to draft, there's another wall unit, right? Say there's a second wall unit that I'm also drafting. Pro tip is move them diagonally up the page in your drafting space. Then you'll be able to crop both in your front view without intersecting. So I can look at the front of this and there are no other objects deeper in the plane. And also for the side view, they're each on their own section of the side view. So if I have a couple of scenic units, if I have 2 or 3 scenic units, they might be placed diagonally up the page. You can look in my Lysistrata drawing. I just about guarantee you that's happening over there. So let's go back to this one wall. So now I have my one wall. I'm going to go into my front view. Yes, thanks. I do know that. And I'm going to go ahead and switch to hidden line now so I can see what it looks like. I am good with this, right? This looks great to me. This looks like a drafting of the front of a wall, right? I don't want to see the texture necessarily because this is more about giving the shop something to build from. And so something like seeing the bricks or the paintings hanging on the wall is less clear for them. I now plate this in the way that I would plate any scenic drawing, right? And this is something you learned in hand drafting class. You want to use as few views as possible. In this case, I can get away with just a front view because it's a flat. You build the flat, it has a front view. That's all I really need. So I'm going to go ahead and create this viewport on my elevations layer. So create viewport, throw you up on that elevations layer. Oh, viewport, this is wall unit front. Okay. I got plenty of space, so at least 1/2 inch scale, if not more. Okay, great. Now I have this wall unit front. Okay. It's also showing the layout of those paintings and chalkboards and stuff. That doesn't make me sad. It also can delete them. Fine as well. Okay. So that would be something I would label, right? I would be like, this is the chromatics poster or whatever. Or I would provide another detail, right? So I would take this, I would duplicate it, or I would create another plate and call it like a paint elevation. And that would show the layout of the tech posters and where the brick is, what the brick looks like. All of that stuff would be on a separate plate as part of a paint package. So that's the other way to think about that. So I have my wall. I'm going to dimension it, just not right now. And then I'm going to do the same process with the floor object that's chilling in my model. Once I have those two things, I'm also going to add some drawing labels. So this is drawing number 1. I like to change my drawing labels. Again, you can look at the Lysistrata package as an example so that it's drawing A as opposed to drawing 1. It makes it a little clearer in my drawing labels on my ground plan. So I use letters for the different scenic elements. So it's unit A, wall unit A. And it gives me some clarity because otherwise I'm competing with page numbers, which is a little confusing. So we're going to call this A. Then we're going to go back over to the ground plan and we're going to label it in there. Okay, so I need to label this wall unit and I need to label the floor. I'll use the drawing label tool, this one right here. No, the reference marker tool. So the reference marker tool is connecting, it says this object that I'm pointing at is, it knew because I just explained this already, is drawing A, wall A, on sheet 3. It's an elevation marker, right? You can also have other kinds of markers. So if it's a section, it looks like that, right? If it's a detail, it looks like this. But in this case, it's an elevation. So it's pointing at the thing that is getting an elevation drawn of it. It's telling you that it's drawing number A on sheet 3. I'm also going to do that with the floor. So that would be drawing B on sheet 3, right? It thinks it's the same. That's not true. B. All right, great. So drawing B on sheet 3 is the floor, labeled there, okay? Anything else I want to label, I label it now. I go wild and give plenty of text to make it clear what objects are where. So that's that situation. And then once everything is labeled and has reference markers everywhere, I'm going to go ahead and export all three of these plates together. I'm also going to update the title block, but I'm not going to do that. You're going to do that. I don't need to for this demo because you know how to do that already, right? I know. Believe in you. It's going to be great. You can like it's not, we're going to use publish. So export is what we've been doing to create individual PDFs. We're going to use publish. Publish is great. Publish lets you send multiple plates as a single document. So I'm going to say ground plan, section, elevations, all of y'all together. Let's publish this set. And then I say published, and it says da 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 da. And I say I don't need to save this set, but if you want to, you totes can. And then it'll publish it as a PDF with those plates that are selected inside of it. And that's what you will submit in addition to your drafting pack, in addition to your entire package. That's what I'm going to be looking at to grade this project, the Scenic drafting package project. So it's publishing it very slow. It's publishing it very slow because I'm camera recording Camtasia. Here we go. It's happening, guys. It's turning on. It's coming. It's coming. There we go. Yay. Right? Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. So nice. All clean. All happy. Okay? So that is drafting a Scenic package. And hopefully this version is better than the last one, which was bad. But we'll see. I still got to edit it. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Virus brain. Quarantine. Just me and the dog.